Good Saturday morning from the Collaboration Cafe. Brian Stavely here, and I have the pleasure of being with Spencer. He's going to be teaching us today about some social media tools that we can use to get our messages seen more and to help more people in the process. So, Spencer, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Brian. Thank you.
Good, good, good. So I'm just going to turn this over to you, and you take it away and teach us some good stuff. Okay?
Perfect. Alrighty. So for today's topic, I decided to cover social media success tips. And I'm gonna keep it kind of an open discussion. So if you guys have any like questions, feel free to shoot them my way and we can kind of just go back and forth. Um, as far as like when it comes to business, the most important platforms, at least that I specifically focus on, is Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn for sure, YouTube, Pinterest, and then TikTok, just because it's an up and coming platform that's utilized heavily with a younger demographic that will grow into an older demographic at some point. So it's just like it's early adopters. And I'll kind of like break down each social media platform and specific like bullet point talking points that I think are important enough to cover per platform. So we'll go ahead and start with Facebook. Um, the pros with Facebook, you can utilize Facebook groups. So I'm really big on, especially in the real estate world, what type of Facebook groups can you join and get involved with that open you up to a specific type of person, right? Like a Facebook group, let's say you have real estate agents looking for leads, right? We'll keep that one, as the topic. You'll have specific type of real estate agents looking for a specific answer. So if you have a solution for that answer, that's a good group to join, right? So now you can apply it to your own business. What are specific groups that you can join that would make sense, that you can network in, and you find referral relationships, you find actual leads. You never know what you can find from a Facebook group. So I always like to be active on Facebook groups. Facebook ads. Um, Facebook ads do very well. When it comes to ads, I always put Google ads as the number one. Reason being is people are going on Google to search for specific answers. On Facebook, it's a little bit more of a wider reach. However, it's visibility, right? So if you have a marketing budget, the minimum spend on Facebook ads is about $10 a day. So if you budget that within a month, it's roughly going to be 300 and some change probably for Facebook ads. So I'd highly suggest exploring Facebook ads. It's a lot of A/B testing, right? You can put out what you think is going to be the best ad in the world, but it might not be, right? So I always like to put out my two best thoughts and ideas on ads, test them against each other, see what one works better, right? And then run with that one, and it comes down to whatever goal you're trying to accomplish. Facebook Pixel. Oh, here we go. So Facebook Pixel is essentially a piece of code that you can place within the code of your website that helps you track all of the analytics and all of the traffic that Facebook is bringing you. So I always like to put that in there. If you have somebody that knows how to go in and manipulate the code, usually you'll put that piece of code snippet in the very beginning, like the header of your code for your website, and that'll help you track all of the traffic that are coming from ads or anything else that you're doing within Facebook. Facebook business page. This one's a huge one. Facebook business pages are considered a business citation. And I know when we covered last time I was here with like Google My Business. Google My Business is a business citation. So having a Facebook business page as a realtor, as like an independent business owner, essentially is huge. So if you don't have one, I would highly suggest setting one up. And then Facebook is great for events, right? Creating event, um, I guess, pages or just events in general on Facebook, inviting like something like this, right? We should always have a constant Facebook event set up where we're sending out invites. You get RSVPs, and it's just another way to get what you're doing to be more visible. And then I have Facebook Live in here. I've never used Facebook Live personally too much. That's just not my thing with what I do. However, I feel like, in specific instances, Facebook Live is great, especially if you have the community that is going to be kind of tuned in to what you're doing. And when you're doing it, I think Facebook Live is great. And then it's just another easier way, just like you would utilize recording a Zoom, or even like how we're recording this presentation. It's great to have that longer form content that you can then splice up into like little itty bits of content, if that makes sense. Cool. So that is Facebook. Now go to.
Let me just mention real quick for those who are listening and watching this recording. Facebook groups such as, I found one, Canadian Snowbirds is a Facebook group.
Yeah.
Okay. Now there's Canadians saying, I want to live in Florida. Tell me more about Florida.
Right.
So you're right about the groups and joining groups that help our business.
Yeah. And the thing is too, you can create your own groups. So like if you have a specific type of person that you're looking to reach out to, why not create a group and then try to attract people to that group? Because when people are searching for specific answers, maybe on, Facebook, they'll see your group. And if you have good, information, valuable information on there that they can use, that's how you attract your tribe to that specific group. And then you can do it just takes a lot of legwork to build up a group, Alrighty. So, Instagram. So I just put some, important bullet points for Instagram. With IG, you can create your profile as a personal profile, as a business profile, or as a creator profile. It's just different tools that they give you as far as analytics go. Like with a personal profile on Instagram, you're not going to get the analytics that they'll give you with business and creator accounts. So that's something to look into. You can kind of play around and see, what you like better. I always like going with a business account, but they also say when it comes to the algorithm that if you have a personal account sometimes, or a creator account, sometimes it gets shown to more people. But again, that's everybody's, it's your personal opinion, personal preference. Instagram is great for short form video content. I always like to keep it at 15 seconds. People's attention spans are minuscule nowadays. So they want like quick, easily digestible content and attractive content. So I always say when it comes to Instagram, keep it really short, simple, quick to the point, so you can catch people. And this brings me into like the IG Reels. And we can kind of cover IG stories too. They kind of go hand in hand. So Instagram is great for that short form content. And now Reels are heavily used on the platform because of TikTok, right? Once TikTok kind of hit mainstream, everybody was getting involved with building those like kind of, videos that are spliced up and you have a bunch of different stuff in it. Now Instagram adopted that. If you put out a post, let's say a still picture, right? And then you put out kind of that same topic of content and you make it into an Instagram reel, the algorithm is going to show that reel more often to more people than it will that still photo. The reason being is because platforms favor video content, organic like video content. So IG Reels are huge. A lot of people in the real estate space, I've seen them do like when they go in for showing a home, they'll kind of just do like little bits of videos at each point in the home and make it into a reel, right? That will get more eyes on that specific piece of content versus just a still picture of that home. And then stories, kind of the same thing. Like stories are great. As you're walking around in life, kind of doing, quick things here and there. Like if you have a thought on your mind, go ahead and record it. And the good thing is like Facebook owns Instagram. So anytime, like you can link the two accounts, and anytime you're doing a story, you can integrate it so that it uploads right onto Facebook stories. So I have, like, let's say I have, 500 people that view one of my stories. I'll probably get like 50 people that will view it from Facebook. So there will be some people that will view your Instagram stories on Facebook. And then Instagram is great for like influencer marketing and collaborations. Every business, I don't care who it is, what industry, you can find collaborative partners, right? That you can do some type of content collab with, to where, you know, I'm sure you've seen like posts up there where it's like certain business is partnered with certain business or certain influencer, right? You guys can do that in the real estate space. I don't know who exactly that would be. Maybe that's you know, a real estate agent that's working with a solar company, right? And you guys can cross make some type of content that you can collaborate, and you can promote on each individual platform. So let's say solar company has 20,000 followers and real estate agent has 5,000 followers. You can both collaborate on a piece of content and show that to both followings. So it opens you up to more reach. So I always love figuring out a consistent flow of collaborations with specific, you know, partners. And Instagram's great for that. LinkedIn, that's my jam. LinkedIn is where I spend most of my time. It's great for business to business networking and professional networking. You know, on LinkedIn, you know, specifically through Sales Navigator, you can search for specific job titles, you know, people in specific locations. You can search for specific companies. You can search for like large companies, small companies. You can search for how active they are on the platform, right? Have they posted on LinkedIn in the past 30 days, right? Have they shared any posts? Or have they been in the news, right? So there's certain aspects of LinkedIn that I highly favor over the other platforms because of how intricate you can get with searching for people. On Facebook, you can't necessarily do that. Instagram, you can't do that. And honestly, Facebook, I see it more in like a family kind of overall community light. Instagram's too flashy and quick, you know, and then LinkedIn, it's professional. So like when it comes to business networking and, you know, just building business in general, I highly favor LinkedIn. Sales Navigator is great. It costs about, I want to say like $99 or something like that a month to get Sales Navigator. And then you just have, it's like the LinkedIn Pro version, right? To where you can search for specific people. You know, you can niche things down, you can build out lists. So it's great. LinkedIn also has groups. So kind of circling back to what we were saying with Facebook groups, LinkedIn has the same thing. So you can almost use the two platforms to find these specific groups of people to where you can network with them, right? And then, you know, the same thing, you know, how I was saying with Facebook, where you can create your own group, right? And then recruit people to join these groups to where you can post specific content and you can kind of build your tribe. I highly suggest doing that specifically in the real estate space. And then again, you know, LinkedIn, you can create your business page, just how like on Facebook, you can create your business page, and that acts as a business citation. So the more business citations out there, right? Like Yelp, you know, Facebook Business, Google My Business, Better Business Bureau, the more of those citations that you have out there in the internet universe, the more important Google sees you. So you'll show up more often, the more business citations, the more business pages you have. Because a business page will have like your company name, it'll have, you know, your number, it'll have your email, it'll have your website, all those like little specific things that all kind of point to one, you know, central location. On LinkedIn, it is the only platform that you can use any type of, you know, automation. I don't ever recommend using like, I use like hard automation and soft automation. Hard automation is kind of like that, just spamming with robots type of deal. You know, what I mean by soft automation is just that initial, you know, point of contact, right? So like, for instance, connecting with people. You can use that type of technology on LinkedIn where you can't use that anymore on Instagram or Facebook. When I was in the personal industry or personal training world, I utilized automation on Instagram to build up my following, and I was able to get a hell of a lot of clients from that because of automation. And what that was doing was I can't sit there all day on Instagram and like posts and add people. It would take up my whole entire day. So the automation is kind of doing that for me, but I'm stopping it at a certain point where I'm not letting the robot just be who I am, right? It just handles the beginning icebreaker, and then where I come in and, I post my personal content, I have personal, interactions with these people. I think like that's where everything is kind of trending, if you want to hit numbers, right? And then LinkedIn is essentially a glorified resume. I always say that when I'm talking to people and consulting. So you want to, like, on your LinkedIn page, you want to prime it to be the best looking resume possible, right? Like you have all your past companies, your current companies, all of your featured posts of things that you're most proud of that you want people to see. You have specific headlines that relate to your business, what you do for a living. You have a banner photo that you can, kind of curate to make sense for your business, maybe with contact information. I always like to have contact information in the banner, or at least some type of call to action in the banner. So that way people see it multiple times, right? And then they're just like, it triggers in your mind psychology wise to take action. So that's LinkedIn. Now we got YouTube. YouTube is great. YouTube is another extension of Google where people go on YouTube to find answers. I'm sure you might have heard like the term YouTube University. That's me. Like anytime I want to find an answer, like I go on YouTube and I'm looking at videos. I'm kind of doing the self-education route, and I'm figuring stuff out. And so I see YouTube as an extension of Google. YouTube is great for creating that long form video. I like to house so what we do with Legendary Home Team is, we'll create our long form video, we'll house them on YouTube, and then now we have an opportunity to splice those long videos up into short videos that we can now post on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, on the other platforms that are more designed for that shorter form content. And then YouTube's great for for like SEO purposes. So like when you have your YouTube video up there and you have a specific description with specific keywords in there, that'll pop up on Google in certain instances. So it's great to really get super detailed and granular when it comes to your YouTube videos and the type of content you're putting on there. YouTube ads are another, so kind of my ranking in terms of like ad platforms is I'll go Google, Facebook, and then YouTube. Again, because YouTube, if you're on there, searching for certain stuff, and then boom, like a 15-second ad pops up, it's a great way to get some type of exposure to your business. Thumbnails. So when you create your YouTube videos, you can always create a thumbnail, like a still picture as the cover photo for that video. And like what we do with our Mastermind Mondays, is like I'll change the date. I have a picture of John and Karen on there, and it just looks a little more appealing than what it would if I didn't put a thumbnail photo. Like it might be like us in the middle of a conversation where you have like 4 people's mouths open and kind of like blur video. So it's always good to have a thumbnail on your YouTube video that is attractive too. Like I always like to use bright colors, something that it, like when you're scrolling through YouTube videos, it like pops out at you type of deal. And then YouTube's easily shareable on all platforms. Like it's very easy for you to copy and paste that YouTube link into all the platforms, and for that video to pop up with the thumbnail, with the description, all of that type of stuff. With exception to Instagram, it's a little hard to do that. Pinterest. So Pinterest is an interesting one. I've dabbled in it. I haven't heavily used it, but I think in terms of like overall social media and visibility, Pinterest is a solid platform to just set up and kind of like sprinkle content on every now and then. Some people their whole business is putting stuff on Pinterest. It's like kind of like Etsy, where you build your boards, you know, you have a bunch of idea boards, you put your products on there. And I know people that make solid money just off of using Pinterest. Pinterest business account is great. You know, kind of the same thing with your Facebook business account, with your, you know, LinkedIn business account. It's another citation that Google recognizes that would be beneficial to kind of just set up, because it's free. Mine as well. And you can create specific boards and specific like idea pins. So like if you had, let's say in terms of real estate, you know, maybe you had your real estate business page on Pinterest and you started creating like specific boards and like idea pins. Maybe one is interior design, right? And then you had your resources for interior design. You had a lot of cool pins in there that showed different types of designs. Maybe you have your contemporary, your modern, you know, your industrial type of stuff. You know, then, you know, just kind of going back to solar. Now solar, maybe you have solar tips, maybe you have some infographics in that specific board. So you can like segment your content specifically to kind of just show tips, tricks, and valuable information for your business. And you just focus on a specific audience, you know, like in terms of real estate, you know, you can shift it however which way you want. You know, it's totally up to you. And then Pinterest is a heavy female population. So I always like to put that out there too. If, you know, you're using Pinterest, just keep in mind that 70% of people that are on Pinterest are going to be females. So if you're going to post content on there, you know, it's wise to keep that in mind, like who your demographic is going to be. So like, yeah, interior design and stuff like that might be a wise, you know, type of board to set up for your real estate business, because you know, that's maybe more of what a female would be searching for on that platform. Alrighty, now we go into TikTok. I personally don't use TikTok too often because I'm spread thin with everything. I'll be completely transparent, but I know it's important. And I know there's a lot of things that you can do with TikTok. Again, it's great for short form video reels. And these are type of reels that you can share on Instagram, and other platforms. And it's a good thing too, because like you can build up your following on TikTok, you can build up your following on Pinterest and all the other platforms, and you can cross share those, you know, that content. So that way, like maybe your audience on TikTok, you know, now your audience on Instagram is able to see that content that you put on there. TikTok's big on like jumping on current trends. I don't know if you guys remember, God, what's a current trend that was going on? I know people were stepping on like the boxes at one point, the crate challenge. Yeah, like people. So that's just one example. Like, you know, so you can capitalize on current trends to get more. And my next bullet point is viral ability, right? Like if you hop on these trends and you create a specific video that, you know, when people are looking up the crate challenge, right, when it's popular, because now it's more searchable, right? People are searching that, your video may pop up, you know, and people may like that, and that might go viral. So it's just, that's kind of how it works when you're jumping on, you know, trends and in terms of viral ability. And I know like on TikTok, the way the algorithm works is you just have to post often. You know, I've heard people tell me that, you know, 3 times a day is the proper amount, like 3 times a day, 3 times a week. So that's like 9 posts in a week. It's a lot, right? So that's when you kind of need like a social media manager at that point. But I know the algorithm favors that because at the end of the day, these platforms want you to spend all your time on the platform. Like that's how they're all designed. So the more often that you post, the more often your stuff is going to get shown. You know, kind of, again, you know, it's good to share on other platforms. And then it's like, yeah, there's a younger population. I mean, you know, people of all ages are utilizing, you know, and using TikTok, but it is primarily a younger population. But this younger population is going to grow into adults. And that's going to be what they know. Just like when I was, you know, growing up, is MySpace, Instagram just came out, and Facebook. Now it's just so normal for me, right? And it's going to be the same thing with TikTok, and there's going to be another platform that comes out, right? People are going to think of TikTok as like the norm. It's been around forever. And then whatever, new platform comes out, that's where the younger, demographic is going to adopt that, right? So I would keep that in mind. A lot of people say like, I don't want to use TikTok because of the younger crowd and blah, 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 blah. It might not make sense. Well, keep in mind, it might be a longer play for you. Like you build up a following on TikTok and you start posting on it, right? That younger population is going to grow into home buyers. They're going to grow into real estate agents. Like that's just how it's going to work. Last slide. Batch, schedule, and automate. In terms of posting, it can be very, very, very tedious and a lot of work to, figure out what to post content wise and how to do it. The best way that I know how to do it is to plan at least a month's worth of content in advance, batch it, schedule it, and then post it automatically. Like, so schedule it on, so I use HeroPost.io because of, a bunch of specific features that it has, mainly because it posts on Google My Business. And I like to post on Google My Business as just like a normal social media platform because it's just good for algorithm. But there's other options. There's Planoly. I've used that. It's like, so HeroPost, I think, is like $200 for a lifetime subscription, and you don't have to pay anything after that. Planoly, I think, is like $10 a month, if I'm not mistaken. Hootsuite is one. I know that they have different pricing. Loomly's one. I know they have different pricing. But I just, kind of put 4 examples, things for you guys to look into. But it's super important. Like, if you want to be efficient, like, you got to work smarter, not harder. It's very hard to everyday freestyle on, what am I going to post? What do I write for the caption? What do I write for the hashtag? Like, you don't want to be thinking about that. Just set aside a couple hours a month, right? And plan out 1 to 2 months of content, set it and forget it, right? So that way you're in the mindset of thinking about, all right, in week 1, what topics do I want to cover? Okay, I want to cover EXP Life. I want to cover social proof. So I'm going to put out some of my testimonials. Okay, at the end of the week, I want to put out production posts, right? And that's week 1, right? And now what captions do I write for that? Which hashtags do I put for that? So it's hard to do that day by day. So I always like to do it, months in advance. Popping up. There we go. I like to do it months in advance and batch it. Because if you think about it, let's say you do 2 months in advance, you only have to sit down and plan your content 6 times a year. You know what I mean? That is so much more sustainable in my mind than doing it every day, 365 days, right? So I highly suggest that for just running your business and getting your word out there efficiently and in a sustainable way. And that's my business contact information. If you guys ever need any advice, tips, or want to chop it up, I'm here to help.
Thanks, Spencer. That was really, really good. That was really, really good. Yeah. So I'm sure that the folks there live at the cafe have some stuff they want to talk to you about. But I'm going to end this live broadcast. I just wanted to thank you again for your time, for sharing all that stuff with us. And again, we'll put your contact info for you and your company in the Facebook page and in the YouTube page that this is streaming to. And if anybody needs anything, they can reach out to you. Okay.
Awesome. I appreciate it, Brian. Thank you.
All right. Have a great week, everybody.
Thanks. You too.